Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be reviewing the Blokees Transformers Classic Class Bumblebee kits from the Rise of the Beast movie. So to start things off, I will be showing you the kit itself, the character himself, and what better off to start than with the face. The head sculpt does look rather nice, rather detailed. Looks very nice. A nice sort of like cute, a nice sort of like a cute, sort of semi-cute version of your usual like Bayverse like Bumblebee head design, which doesn't look too bad. Do think it looks rather nice does think this head design looks rather nice. There is like a obvious spot for an Autobot logo that is pretty absent here. But I will forgive that since that is a detail that is like in the movie. That's pretty much accurate in the movie. Yeah, very nice. The eyes. I do like how they have this sort of silvery paint over the translucent blue eyes. Here it does make it look rather nice. And if you even like get a closer look, you do get like some nice little like printed. I believe that's printed detail in the eyes. Yeah, like a good bit of detail in the eyes. Rather nice, and of course, the face looks rather nice too. Moving down to the torso. The torso looks rather great. Do get a lot of nice greebles, both from the small like super detailed parts of the kit, and also a little bit of like exposed like printing from that sort of minifigure-esque Blokees torso piece. Yeah, rather nice. And even like the chest, which does look rather nice. It does come together rather nicely. It definitely does look like a nice like compact, like nice like solid compact version of like the '07 movie Bumblebee, back when he had this style of Camaro as an alt mode. I do like it. It looks rather nice. Back here we do have some tire parts connected to the back here, as well as your nice like door wings for Bumblebee, which we will get into a little bit later. Rather nice. Moving on to the arms. The arms are nicely detailed, and they do look they are rather like neat. Do like how the yellow parts basically hug over the basic gray skeletal structure pieces. Does give a nice sleek look. And even like moving down to the fists. The fists look pretty neat. And especially like this little like extra bit of like yellow armor for the wrist. Yeah, rather nice. Moving down to the legs. The legs are also nice and compact. Like this is basically like a sort of like Bayverse style Bumblebee, but like super nice, super sleek, super compact. Like definitely like carries like some aspects of your like Bayverse designs, but overall nice and compact and sleeked down. Yeah, super nice. the yellow like thigh armor is like super nice. The thighs and like the other like gray bits, like these like round pieces are done up in this nice silver. The yellow is really nice here, and even the gunmetal does look rather nice. Very nice. The foot design looks really neat. Looks really nice. Do enjoy like this sort of like, do enjoy the overall look of that these feet is giving out. Yeah, and even has like more vehicle like kibble, like the tires. Yeah, rather nice. And of course we can turn him around to reveal the back, to give a good look at the back of the figure. Looks really nice. You do get a more in-depth look at the door wings. Look really nice. You get like some car interior stuff here on the bottom wings and the like top of the doors with the windshields on the like the for these upper wings, which are painted silver on one side, but that silver is kind of absent on this side, but it's not too bad. Overall looks nice, and even so like more obscure like armor here that is like nicely appreciated. Definitely does give him that solid look that I do like from this figure. And yeah, like even like the backs of the legs, the calves, the like backs of the shins here look really nice. It does have a nice, excellent bit of grable with these gray parts and the nice smoothness of these yellow parts back here. Looks rather nice. Really, really neat. Now, let's move on to articulation, because the articulation is rather nice. So the head is on a ball joint, a translucent ball joint, so you might want to be careful. It's a model kit, so some pieces are going to fall off. Obviously didn't push that one in hard enough. But yeah, the head is on a rather solid ball joint. Can rotate up and down, tilt side to side. Yeah, it's a good range. Door wings, they can hinge up and down. It is a model kit, so parts are going to fly off occasionally. So you can't like flip them up or like completely like fold them down. It's rather nice. So there are like display and play options with the door wings. So that's rather nice. Let's see, the shoulders are rather like odd to me, because they connect like these shoulder pieces over these ball joints from the torso, which is kind of different compared to how these sort of like Galaxy version figures are put together, where for those ones you basically pop these joints on and then pop the arms on, whereas this one, there's a bit of a different assembly to it, and because of that, it doesn't have that like extra shoulder movement provided from that double ball joint. But regardless, it's still a pretty solid. It still provides a good range of movement even without that extra joint. Can move up that far and can rotate up and down and wiggle about rather nicely. The does have a 360 bicep rotation, a slightly over, basically 90 degrees at the elbow, and the wrists are on these ball joints, so they can swivel around. They can tilt a little bit, but because of how the fist is designed, it can also do this. So that's nice. Waist is on a swivel, unhindered 360. That's rather cool. Hips are on a simple ball joint, and while forward and back movement is a little bit hindered, it's more so is like a little bit hindered, just not like hindered all that bad, and still do get a great like movement out. So yeah, those ball joints in the hips do like get a good decent range of motion. Swivel at there is a above the knee swivel, so you can utilize that too. A 90 degrees at the knee, providing a decent knee bend. And this is where things get interesting with the posability, because both this silver part and this tire are both on ball joints. And then this yellow, and they're both connected to this yellow piece, which by the way can hinge back and forth. And then the foot itself is on another ball joint. So you can basically, when you're utilizing the ankle tilt, you can basically move these parts with the foot itself, providing a nice range of movement. Not only providing a nice range of articulation, but also kind of helps, also kind of makes it look like it has like shifting parts, so in the ankles. So that's nice. Like that part is rather interesting. So yeah, overall it does have a good range of articulation. You can put it in some rather nice poses. Do think you can pull off some nice poses with this kit. And as far as like parts falling off, like I have seen, you definitely seen me like pop a few joints off, but like overall it doesn't feel like it's gonna come apart. Like most of the stuff here does peg on and lock together rather nicely, rather solid. Like I can definitely like mess around with this figure and pose this thing around without worrying about like breaking anything or having stuff fall apart most of the time. So that's nice. And so now let's get on to accessories. So starting off, we do have, so to show you off real quick, we do have some of the spare like parts, things that aren't used for the build. Like basically like your spare neck joint in case that breaks, but also like parts that are usually used to build like the skeletal like structure of this build, much like the shoulder joints and like these half like hinge joints like things, and then like a couple of these things which aren't really used for the build, but like it's a nice inclusion, I guess. So there is that, but also we have extra accessories. So first of all, we have switchable hands. We have these split. So on top of the nicely nice like fist like the nice detailed fist. We also get a pair of these blade open hands. But switching them is interesting because like to switch these, you do take these off, and not only that, you take the yellow armor piece off the wrist and attach it onto the rest of the other hand, and you basically attach the hands back like so. And there you have your splayed open hands. And I will say the splayed open hands look rather nice. And the same exact process goes for the other hand. So you do have your open hands, which are rather interesting. I do find these hands to be quite interesting. But on top of that, you also have a gun, a sort of gun piece. And to attach the gun is basically the same thing. We just detach the hand off the ball joint, and we basically just pop this ball joint into the socket joint right here, like so. And there we have Bumblebee with his gun arm. With this little gun arm. And that does look rather nice. I do like to look at that. The extra armor here to subtly change the arm design definitely makes this look like looks like the hand had transformed into the gun. The gun had transformed from the arm. So that's rather nice. That's pretty cool. And of course, this gun hand can also be used for both arms. So you just pop it in on either arm, and it works. And it works just as well. Really nice. That's cool. Other accessories. We do have other accessories like a couple of these sort of base plate things, which do lock together rather simply. And what you can then do is take these included flame effect pieces and basically plug these pegs into the mini holes across the side. So you can basically just plug them in like so. Like any hole you like. And as far as integrating the figure onto this base plate, he does have there are these sort of Lego stud looking things here on the base, which you can just plug the feet onto. Pretty simply, like so. And boom. It's a rather solid connection, but it's really not needed. Though the extra display stuff, the extra base to provide extra posability options, yeah, rather appreciated. Yeah, rather nice. Do appreciate that. And not only that, but if you aren't too big of a fan of how plain this these bases look together, there are studs and stuff, but for the most part, there's a lot of open space on this. But if you're not too big into this open space look, you can of course attach some included stickers onto these base plates. And there's even like little cutouts for like the studs and the connectors and stuff. So there is that, and the stickers do look nice. You got like Bumblebee here, and the Autobot logo, and Blokees and Transformers. And the sticker sheet does feel rather nice. The sticker, the sort of smooth texture of the stickers, kind of remind me of the stickers used for the Modroid, Dynazenon. So that's neat. But for this video, I won't be, attaching these stickers onto these base plates, mostly because I do want to leave these extra holes open for extra places to put the flame pieces on. And I honestly don't mind how the base plates are looking now. And for those who are interested, here is a look at one of the base plates compared to one of the base plates used for the Galaxy version figures. It's significantly larger. It does have a significantly larger amount of these sized port things, and a couple less studs than this base, and is absent of this hole right here. Yeah, rather nice. Do have some variants of base plates options, so that's pretty cool. Rather neat. And before we get into the last of these accessories, I actually want to bring forth the attention of another gimmick that this kit can do. For you see, all you really need to do is just knock him over by flicking. And then with that, look at that. His head lights up. It's yeah, look at that. His head lights up. And yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. That is rather interesting. This small little Bumblebee has this cool sort of light up feature. And once activated, it does stick around for a minute or so before it turns off on its own. So there is that. But even if the batteries die, even if the batteries die and you don't have replacements, he still has a place where you can light pipe. He still has a spot to light pipe for light piping. So if you want, you can still utilize the light piping even when you're unable to use the light up feature. But yeah, the battery, the batteries are included in this kit, which is rather nice, and pre-installed. So the light up feature is basically installed into this sort of minifigure-esque torso piece, and then it basically lights the head up by utilizing one of these translucent ball joint pieces, and then just lights up from the bottom and then basically lights up the head. It looks rather nice. And really cool. That's like a cool feature. That's a cool little gimmick. Yeah, that's nice. And then what you can do and so after that, we do have some more accessories, though these ones are more so you more so like integrate these parts into this figure when you have like their like class like Scourge like kits, and that is these 3 pieces. What like you basically like attach these pieces in, like you basically integrate these pieces in when you're trying to like display this Bumblebee alongside their like Scourge. And to utilize like these parts, it's rather simple. So for the torso, you basically like take these parts off. Don't want to like break this off. Yeah, not too bad. And what you do here is basically after taking this piece off, you can switch this piece with this piece, which they both look rather similar. The only real difference is that this one has an extra like connecting hole here, whereas this one has just that tiny bit more detail. So after that, you basically just attach that on and put everything back on like normal, like you would with the other like torso piece. And then there you have that. And there you have that. And with that, the only thing that really changes after switching that part is that there is an extra like connection hole here in the abdomen area, which, to be honest, doesn't really stand out in a bad way. Honestly, just looks like a little bit of extra detail. So I can definitely like see people like putting this piece on instead of this one and just like leaving this part on, because this like connection hole doesn't like stick out too much. But like the fact that they've even like included the option is rather like nice. Is rather neat. And then after that, you basically connect these pieces on. And so for this piece, you basically connect this part into the abdomen, like so. And then take this translucent orange piece and basically just plug it into the back, like so. And boom, now we have Bumblebee being impaled by Scourge, or at least like if you have like Scourge to like integrate this in with, I guess if you have like the Scourge like kits to display with this, I believe you would like plug this ball joint into like his Scourge's like forearm, and it would look like pretty epic or sad, I guess, because you are like he is basically killing off Bumblebee. But hey, regardless, it's a pretty cool like thing, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. But hey, once again, the fact that they've given us the option to display Bumblebee like this is rather neat. Way to go for Blokees. And with that, now let's get into size comparisons. So here he is next to my... Here he is next to my Siege Centimus Prime. Sorry about that. And yeah, like comparing him with like a Chug figure, as a Siege, a like modern like Voyager figure like this, it does. Yeah, like this. This like to me like this totally scales like really nicely. Yeah, really neat. So here he is next to, and for a Blokees like Galaxy version comparison, here he is next to the Galaxy version, like first, a Galaxy version of Thundercracker from the first wave, and you can tell that he is basically the same size as the Seeker mold from these like mystery box like Galaxy version like simplistic kits. So there is that. Yeah, rather nice. And for a bump and then last but most certainly not least, here he is next to the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. And I will say that looks, I will also say like these two both look really good. They're both approximately the same size. But yeah, like they're both going for like really different things, but they both do look really good. Yeah, I like the fact that like this like sort of Bumblebee is like the same size as this Bumblebee. Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, like really cool. Like definitely. Okay, like we have like a nice small like G1 style Bumblebee alongside a nice movie, nice like live action movie style Bumblebee. Both of which look really good together. Yeah, rather nice. Do like that. And yeah, with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So yeah, with that, overall, I do think this is a rather neat kit. It was fun to put together. It was fun to put together. The parts, like the color like parts separation, and like the way it's put together is rather nice. Does feel solid enough to like mess around and pose around and play with, like a toy. So that's cool. Does have a good supply of accessories that you can also play around with. Really cool. And hold on, I actually want to try something. So this is one of the blast effect pieces from the Galaxy version, like kits from like either Ratchet or Megatron or Ironheart. Let's see if this can fit. No, this cannot fit on the gun. Though I definitely do see a sort of I do see a sort of port here that could fit some sort of blast effect. So it's nice. So that's interesting. It does He does pose really well. The light up feature is a nice inclusion. And yeah, even scales. Yeah, even scales nicely with your sort of with your like sort of with other like transforming figures. Like, this is a pretty good scale, I think. Yeah, it does scale nicely with your other like transformer figures. Like it's definitely definitely passable. The other so yeah, like some parts. Yeah, that was my fault. I accidentally knocked that one out of place. But yeah, for the most part, the parts do fit on and solidly and don't fall off quite easily. So yeah, like overall, I think this is a pretty neat kit. A bit more it's a little bit more complex than your like Galaxy version like little kits, but it's by no means like tedious or like complex. It's a rather simplest. It's a rather like it's slightly more complex than than like your Galaxy version like kits, but still like not like tedious or angering in any way. It's still fun to build. And like, yeah. Overall, I do think this is a rather neat like kit, and for the price that it goes for, it's absolutely a nice like thing to get if you want to like put together like a nice small little articulated like transformer character that you like, even though it doesn't transform. But that's really not what this sort of kit is made for. And with that, I think that'll be it for this review. If you enjoyed this video, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.